The upcoming elections are set to make history with a few firsts for an election. The timetable of activities is now out, with about 23 activities to go through before the elections.
This timetable is the longest timetable we've ever had for national and provincial elections. It provides for 96 days within which to prepare for the election timetable. And the longer time was necessary principally to achieve two things. One, to have a period of inspection to the roll so that people or interested parties may raise objections against the inclusion or exclusion of certain persons on segments of the roll. Secondly, the timetable was deliberately made longer in order to accommodate a ballot production window period that will help us deal with complicated ballot papers.
Some of the key milestones include: interested parties have up until the 4th of March to object to the inclusion or exclusion of people on the voters' roll, and the objections for people who are included or excluded from the party and candidate lists will happen on the 26th and 27th of March. The IEC says unrehabilitated insolvents or citizens convicted of jail time of more than a year without the option of a fine cannot contest elections.
First been convicted, sentenced to 12 months jail time without an option of a fine, must have all their appeal remedies. For example, if they had noted an appeal and the appeal was rejected, the provision applies to that person. A person who is still awaiting the outcome of their appeal, or within which they can note an appeal, has not lapsed. These people are not categorized in this provision. So it is not enough that a person's name either at the Zondo Commission or they were in court. They must have been served a period of more than 12 months.
Of independent candidates will mean that now there are 3 ballot papers in this election, unless of course you are voting outside of your province. The IEC welcomed the Constitutional Court dismissal of an urgent application by lobby group Rivonia Circle, which aimed to reduce the threshold for signatures for parties.
The court to rule that 1,000 signatures are sufficient for political parties to contest. The court consisted of a quorum of 10 justices. The majority decision was 9 justices and 1 minority judgment. And the decision of the court is that it is not in the interest of justice to hear that application on an urgent basis in circumstances when an election is imminent.
He says the Constitutional Court order for the inclusion of independents has also led to budgetary implications, like the printing of longer ballot papers, the need for more staff to count votes, and the potential for increased litigation. The electoral body says it will supplement its budget with its surplus funds to run the polls amid budget cuts.
We then went through the different NTF reviews, which resulted in the cuts, resulting in us being left with 2.3 billion, the 30 million cut coming from the last review from the NTF.
The IEC has called on political parties not to wait until the 11th hour to submit applications for special votes, because if the information is inaccurate or there are omissions, it would be too late to rectify. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.